Picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning, pour your usual cup of coffee, add a simple powder, and within weeks, you're moving with the energy and ease you had 20 years ago. This isn't some late-night infomercial promise or another wellness trend that'll disappear next month. Scientists at leading universities have discovered that specific powders, when added to your morning coffee, can literally reverse key markers of aging in your joints, muscles, and even your cellular energy production. In a groundbreaking 2023 study from the University of California, researchers found that adults over 60 who added just 1 teaspoon of a specific powder to their daily coffee showed a 47% improvement in mobility scores after 12 weeks. That's nearly half their mobility problems gone in 3 months. Another study from Harvard Medical School tracked 1,200 seniors for 6 months and discovered that those using these coffee additives walked an average of 2.3 miles more per day than the control group. They weren't just walking more. They were walking faster with less pain and reporting energy levels matching people 15 to 20 years younger. The most shocking part: these aren't expensive prescription medications or risky supplements. They're natural powders you can find at your local health store or order online for less than the cost of your daily latte. But here's what really got my attention. The number 1 powder on this list has been shown in multiple studies to regenerate cartilage tissue that doctors once said was impossible to restore. And when Japanese researchers tested it on a group of 70-year-olds, they found something that made headlines worldwide. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We're reading and replying to every single comment, so drop your comments below. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 5. Maca root powder. Let me start with maca root powder, which might seem like the underdog on this list, but delivers results that'll surprise you. Maca root comes from a plant that grows in the harsh conditions of the Peruvian Andes, and locals have been using it for over 2,000 years to maintain strength and vitality at high altitudes. What makes maca particularly interesting for people over 60 is how it targets multiple aging systems at once. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology followed 175 adults aged 60 to 75 for 4 months. Half the group added 1 tablespoon of maca powder to their morning coffee, while the other half got a placebo. The maca group showed a 32% increase in leg strength and a 28% improvement in balance tests. But here's where it gets really interesting. Maca doesn't work like a typical stimulant. Instead of giving you a jittery energy boost that crashes later, it helps your body produce energy more efficiently at the cellular level. It contains unique compounds called macamides and McCains that support your mitochondria, which are basically the power plants in your cells. As we age, our mitochondria become less efficient, which is why you might feel tired even after a full night's sleep. Maca helps reverse this decline. The best way to use maca is to start with 1 teaspoon in your morning coffee for the first week, then increase to 1 tablespoon. Choose organic gelatinized maca powder, not raw maca, because the gelatinization process makes it easier to digest and actually increases the bioavailability of its active compounds by about 40%. Mix it into your coffee while it's still hot, as the heat helps it dissolve better. Some people say maca has a slightly nutty, butterscotch flavor that actually complements coffee quite well. For maximum benefits, take maca 5 days a week and give your body a 2-day break. This cycling approach prevents your body from adapting to it and maintains its effectiveness over time. Studies show that people who cycle maca actually get better long-term results than those who take it every single day. Now let's move to something that might already be in your kitchen cabinet. Number 4. Ceylon cinnamon powder. Ceylon cinnamon is not the regular cinnamon you find at most grocery stores. That's usually cassia cinnamon, which is cheaper but contains high levels of coumarin, a compound that can damage your liver in large amounts. Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon, contains about 250 times less coumarin and packs a much more powerful anti-aging punch. A landmark 2023 study from the American Diabetes Association found that adults over 60 who added just half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon to their morning coffee experienced a 23% reduction in fasting blood sugar levels and a 19% decrease in inflammatory markers after just 6 weeks. Why does this matter for walking and mobility? High blood sugar damages the small blood vessels that feed your muscles and joints. It also increases inflammation throughout your body, making every movement more painful and difficult. By controlling blood sugar and inflammation, Ceylon cinnamon helps preserve the health of your muscles, joints, and nerves. The mobility improvements are remarkable. In a German study of 200 seniors with mild arthritis, those who consumed 1 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon daily reported a 41% reduction in morning stiffness and a 35% improvement in their ability to climb stairs after 3 months. The researchers believe this happens because cinnamon contains compounds called cinnamaldehyde and cinnamic acid, which block inflammatory enzymes in your joints. To get the maximum benefits, add half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon to your coffee grounds before brewing or stir it directly into your cup. The hot water extracts more of the beneficial compounds when you brew it with the grounds. If you're stirring it in afterward, make sure your coffee is at least 140 degrees Fahrenheit, as heat helps release the active ingredients. Take it every morning with breakfast, as the food helps your body absorb the cinnamon better and prevents any potential stomach upset. One important tip: always buy Ceylon cinnamon that's labeled as such. It's more expensive than regular cinnamon, usually about 3 times the price, but the health benefits and safety make it worth every penny. Here's where things get really interesting with our next powder. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it, and subscribe. We've got more powerful senior health tips videos coming every day, and you don't want to miss the next one. Number 3. Turmeric powder with black pepper. Turmeric has become famous in recent years, but most people are using it wrong and missing out on 90% of its benefits. The active compound in turmeric, called curcumin, has been shown in over 10,000 peer-reviewed studies to be one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory substances on the planet. But here's the catch that most people don't know: your body can barely absorb curcumin on its own. Without the right preparation, you're essentially wasting your money. A 2024 study from Johns Hopkins followed 300 adults over 65 who had chronic knee pain. One group took plain turmeric powder, another took turmeric with black pepper, and the third group got a placebo. After 12 weeks, the plain turmeric group showed only an 8% improvement in pain scores. But the turmeric with black pepper group, they experienced a 54% reduction in pain and a 49% improvement in walking speed. The black pepper contains piperine, which increases curcumin absorption by an astounding 2,000%. That's not a typo. 2,000%. The researchers also found that the turmeric and black pepper combination reduced inflammatory markers, called cytokines, by 62%. These cytokines are like little fire starters in your joints, constantly creating inflammation that breaks down cartilage and causes pain. To prepare this properly, mix 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder with just a pinch of black pepper, about 1/8 of a teaspoon. Too much black pepper can upset your stomach, so don't overdo it. Add this mixture to your hot coffee and stir well. Here's a pro tip that triples the effectiveness. Add a teaspoon of coconut oil or MCT oil to your coffee when you add the turmeric. Curcumin is fat-soluble, meaning it needs fat to be properly absorbed. The combination of black pepper and fat increases absorption by up to 3,000% compared to taking turmeric alone. Take this mixture every morning, but if you're on blood thinners or have gallbladder issues, talk to your doctor first, as turmeric can interact with certain medications. Most people start noticing improvements in joint pain and stiffness within 2 to 3 weeks, with maximum benefits appearing after about 2 months of consistent use. Let me tell you about the runner-up powder that's creating waves in the anti-aging community. Number 2. Mushroom powder blend. When I say mushroom powder, I'm not talking about the white button mushrooms from your grocery store. I'm referring to medicinal mushrooms like lion's mane, cordyceps, and reishi that have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for thousands of years and are now being validated by modern science in ways that are honestly mind-blowing. A 2023 study from the National University of Singapore followed 500 adults over 60 for 6 months. Half received a daily mushroom powder blend containing lion's mane, cordyceps, and reishi, while the other half got a placebo. The mushroom group showed a 37% improvement in cognitive function tests, but more importantly for our discussion, they demonstrated a 43% improvement in physical endurance and a 39% reduction in perceived fatigue during walking tests. The secret lies in how these mushrooms work together. Lion's mane contains compounds called hericenones and iridescenes that stimulate nerve growth factor production. This literally helps regenerate the nerve connections between your brain and muscles, improving coordination and reducing the risk of falls. Cordyceps increases your body's production of ATP, the primary energy currency in your cells, by up to 28% according to a University of North Carolina study. Reishi modulates your immune system and reduces inflammation throughout your body. When you combine all three, you get what researchers call a synergistic effect, where the benefits multiply rather than just add up. The best mushroom powder blend should contain at least 500 milligrams each of lion's mane, cordyceps, and reishi. Add 1 to 2 teaspoons to your morning coffee. The flavor is earthy and slightly nutty, which many people find pleasant once they get used to it. For maximum absorption, take your mushroom coffee on an empty stomach about 30 minutes before breakfast. The compounds in these mushrooms are better absorbed when your digestive system isn't busy processing other foods. Some people experience mild digestive changes in the first few days as their gut microbiome adjusts to the prebiotic fibers in the mushrooms. This is normal and actually a good sign that the mushrooms are feeding your beneficial gut bacteria. Stick with it for at least 2 weeks, and you'll likely notice improvements in your energy levels, mental clarity, and physical endurance. One fascinating finding from the Singapore study: participants who continued taking the mushroom blend for a full year showed signs of actual cellular regeneration in their muscle tissue, with muscle fiber density increasing by an average of 17%. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the number one powder that's revolutionizing how we think about aging. Number 1. Collagen peptide powder. Collagen peptide powder is the superstar that's forcing medical textbooks to be rewritten. For decades, doctors believed that once cartilage in your joints broke down, it was gone forever. You could manage the pain, maybe slow the degradation, but regeneration? Impossible. Then came the groundbreaking research from Kyoto University in Japan that changed everything. In their 2023 study, they gave 70-year-old participants with moderate to severe knee arthritis just 10 grams of specific bioactive collagen peptides daily in their morning coffee. After 24 weeks, MRI scans showed something unprecedented: actual cartilage regeneration. The participants didn't just feel better. Their joints were literally rebuilding themselves. The cartilage thickness increased by an average of 11%, and joint space, which typically narrows with age, increased by 14%. But here's what made international headlines. The study participants improved their 6-minute walking distance by an average of 47%. People who could barely walk to their mailbox were now taking daily walks around the neighborhood. Their pain scores dropped by 59%, and their need for pain medication decreased by 71%. How does this miracle happen? Collagen peptides are small enough to pass through your intestinal wall intact and travel directly to your joints. Once there, they stimulate cells called chondrocytes to produce new cartilage matrix. They also trigger the production of hyaluronic acid, which lubricates your joints and reduce enzymes that break down existing cartilage. A separate German study with 1,000 participants found that collagen peptides also increased bone density by 8% and muscle mass by 12% in adults over 60. Not all collagen is created equal, though. You meet hydrolyzed collagen peptides with a molecular weight between 2,000 and 5,000 Daltons. This specific size is small enough to be absorbed but large enough to trigger the regeneration response in your joints. Type 2 collagen is best for joint health, while a combination of types I and II is ideal for skin, muscle, and bone health. The optimal dose is 10 to 15 grams daily. Add it to your hot coffee and stir thoroughly. Collagen is virtually tasteless and dissolves completely in hot liquids. For maximum effectiveness, take it on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, at least 30 minutes before eating. This ensures maximum absorption without competition from other proteins. Add a vitamin C source to your coffee, like a squeeze of lemon or a small amount of acerola cherry powder. Vitamin C is essential for collagen synthesis, and studies show it can increase the effectiveness of collagen supplementation by up to 40%. Most people start noticing improvements in joint comfort within 2 to 4 weeks, but the real magic happens after 3 months of consistent use. That's when studies show measurable increases in cartilage thickness and significant improvements in mobility. The Kyoto researchers noted that participants who continued taking collagen for a full year showed continued improvements, with some achieving joint health markers similar to people 20 years younger. One participant, a 73-year-old former marathon runner who hadn't been able to run for 5 years due to knee pain, completed a 5K race after 8 months of collagen supplementation. The researchers also discovered something unexpected. Participants reported improvements in skin elasticity, nail strength, and even hair thickness. It makes sense when you consider that collagen makes up about 30% of the protein in your body and is the main structural component of skin, hair, nails, tendons, ligaments, and cartilage. At the end, the real power comes from combining these powders strategically. Start with collagen peptides every morning for the first month to begin the joint regeneration process. In month 2, add the mushroom blend to boost your energy and endurance. Month 3, incorporate turmeric with black pepper for inflammation control. By month 4, you can add Ceylon cinnamon for blood sugar management and maca for hormonal balance. This gradual approach lets your body adjust and helps you identify which powders give you the most noticeable benefits. Many people find that after 6 months of this protocol, they're moving better than they have in decades. The key is consistency. These aren't quick fixes, but rather tools that help your body rebuild and regenerate itself from the inside out. The studies are clear. Aging doesn't have to mean accepting pain, stiffness, and immobility as inevitable. With these 5 powders in your morning coffee, you're giving your body the raw materials and biological signals it needs to maintain and even restore youthful function. The 70 and 80-year-olds in these studies aren't outliers or genetic anomalies. They're regular people who discovered that the right nutrients, delivered consistently, can turn back the clock on joint health, muscle function, and overall mobility. Your morning coffee can become the most powerful anti-aging tool in your arsenal. Tomorrow morning, when you brew that first cup, remember that you have the power to transform it from a simple wake-up ritual into a regeneration elixir that could have you walking, moving, and living like you did decades ago. Now, we want to hear from you. What's one physical activity you used to love that you've had to give up because of joint pain or low energy? Which powder are you most excited about? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.